Welcome back to another Planet Doug behind the scenes production. This one is for Sunday, October 16th, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning. And there isn't a lot happening in the way of, I'm thinking of it as scene, like something I go out and do, a new experience, a new site in Malaysia, a new place to visit, because I'm very involved in behind the scenes. So I'm heading out to run some errands that, yeah, just thought I'd fire up a GoPro and record some of the events as I go along. And I stopped right here to start the video because I'm standing right in front of my Aqua Valley water filtration machine, which I was so happy to see was still here and still operational. But I came to get water the other day and it wasn't on, like the digital readout, you know, there's no lights flashing, so basically it wasn't operational. So I'm about to find out whether someone came and... No, same thing. Supposed to be a light here, but nothing, you know, put money in there and I don't think anything's gonna happen. I think I'll test it. Who knows, maybe it turns on when you put money inside? No, just spits it out again. So I don't know what's going on. What I've been doing for water is my guest house does have a hot water boiler, like a typical boiler in the kitchen that you use to get water for tea, coffee, instant noodles. And I fill that thing up to the brim and I let it boil for a long time, like even overnight. And then I go there with my own kettle and then just pour all the boiled water, it's been boiling for a long time, from that heater into my kettle, bring it to my room, and I use that kettle to boil water for my own coffee. But then when it's cooled down, I pour it from that kettle into a water bottle and I use that for drinking water. I mean, it works, it's not a big deal. No, it's an extra step. But I wouldn't mind bringing my water bag over there and getting 10 liters of water at a time of drinking water. Of course, there is a debate whether the water that comes out of that machine is, you know, actually drinkable or not. So, where am I going? Well, I'm going to KL Central, and I'm going there on sort of a technical errand run. It's something I need to get done, but it's also something I can do for fun. I enjoy these sorts of errands. And it's a little bit of a complicated story that I'll dive into as I get on the MRT. So I'm just going to ride on the MRT from Pasar Seni to KL Central. And over there, just outside of KL Central, there's one of these Cellcom Blue Cube outlets. And I guess you can go there for all your Cellcom SIM card needs, you know, topping up and paying bills, and I don't know. I've been hearing about these Blue Cube places. I was going to go to one on Penang, and I never got around to it. Anyway, I'm going to go there and see if they can help me with my issue, which I will explain in a minute. I always have an issue of some sort or another to deal with. Oh, actually, as we ride on the MRT, or the LRT, this is an LRT line, it goes above ground from here to KL Central. And on the right-hand side, we'll be passing right over top of the train station building. And I think we can also see the KTM corporate headquarters building. So that's when I always see the train station building, from up on the LRT. You don't tend to notice it from street level. So that's going to be, I'll point that out as we go along. Oh, I'm also going to check to see whether my touch and go card for the Rapid KL MRT system, whether it still works or not. Like, do I have any... I guess I'll just try to go through the turnstile. Maybe it'll beep, like maybe I have money still on it. Highly unlikely. Like, even if I had cash still on it, wouldn't it have been deleted long ago? And maybe the whole card itself has gone dormant. Someone told me in the comments that after 3 years, it's definitely gone dormant and we're gonna have to zap it to bring it back to life again. I've completely forgotten how I would top up this card, because you have to put money on it, right? And it was very easy to do. I think you just use the same machines, or there might be special machines. But to be honest, I don't actually remember how I did it. So I guess I'll find out about that too. I was so delighted when I found out that my KTM card was still valid and still had money on it. And as she told me, it's valid for 10 years. So I was like gone for 3 years, but I'm still 7 years before the expiry date. How rare is that? So let's go into the MRT system to get onto an LRT train. I still get confused about that because you never quite know what to call these things. I call it an MRT system, but they have LRT trains and MRT trains, and then they have a monorail as well. I mean, it's all part of the system, but we'll just stick with MRT system for now. And there's really no need to distinguish between LRT and MRT lines unless you're looking at the signs, you know, and trying to find something in particular. Yeah, oh, got a mask up heading into the transportation system. I think it's still the rule. Who knows? First attempt is just to see whether I can go in. And if it does work, that's going to be very exciting. I'm not using my 360 camera today, so I have to keep turning the camera around to point it at different things. Let's see what message I get. Invalid card. And since the card is invalid, I'm pretty sure that I can't recharge it either. So I'm not even going to bother trying it. They have these machines here, and I guess you can, like I said, I can't remember how I did it in the past, but I either have to get a new card or they have to reactivate this one. So I'll go do that now. There's nobody in the lineup, so I hate doing stuff like that. And then it takes, you know, a long time, and all the people behind me in line are like, why isn't this guy just buying his ticket and going? Hello.
Yeah.
I have an old card. Can it be activated?
Tadi saya keluar salah sana, tik saya masuk balik boleh tekan tidak siap. Bukan saya turun,
Okay,
saya
you
masuk
go
salah
to
sana.
Kota Shengo, the new central area.
Okay, KL Central. Okay, they can do it at KL Central.
New central.
Okay, thank you. I don't know why that would be, but I remember running into this before. I tried to do something with one of these cards, and at the actual subway station where I was, they couldn't do it there. I had to go to the central office at KL Central, and then they could do it. So I have to buy a token to get in to the system. All right. And I think I'm on the Kalanajaya line. Yes, I'm here at Pasar Seni, and I just want to go to KL Central. And it cost me 1 ringgit 30. Oh, that's right. I have to please make payment. Okay. There it goes. Please wait. There's my token. And 70 sen change. All right. And this token should let me through. And from here, if I go that way, I go into the MRT line, Sungai Bolo, I think it's called. Up here, the stairs takes me to the platform for the LRT line, Kalanajaya. I feel like such an expert. It's rare to feel like I know what I'm doing. It's kind of nice. But I'm sure I'll still make mistakes. I find you always get a nice view of these windows. They're kind of tinted in a way, you know, kind of polarized. So quite often the view through these windows is nicer than the view you get with your eyes, you know, when you step outside. Looking up at Merdeka 118. I don't know whether they call it Merdeka 118 or Merdeka 118. Yeah, before I realized I hadn't hit the record button, I was talking about how the train goes underground when it goes to the downtown area from here, but then it goes above ground once it reaches Pass Arseni. So, as I said, there's the train station. You get a really nice view of it from up here on the train platform. And there's the boy, that was loud, that announcement and the train. But there, yeah, look at that. Amazing view of the train station. I love that view. And we should be crossing, over a highway system right here. And there's brick fields down there. It's also a Little India. This is the whole Little India area. And we've already arrived. It wouldn't be a big deal to walk this far, but I often do. But hey, shooting video, might as well do the fun thing. Oh, I forgot I was going to explain my technical issue. I might have to stop for a minute and then talk about that. All right, there we go. Now we're at the transportation heart of Kuala Lumpur with the main KTM train station, the LRT line, KTM trains. So I think the woman said something about I had to come here but also go to window 2, I thought she said, but I don't know what that means. We'll find out. And here's window 2. Let's see what happens here. Hello. I have an old card. Can I activate it? Oh, where do I go? North Central?
NU Central.
NU Central. Okay, thank you. Ah, not here either. I have to go to NU Central. And if I remember right, I have to go, yeah, that's the shopping mall. I guess there's a Rapid KL. I'm holding the GoPro so close to my face. I guess there's a Rapid KL outlet in the mall. She didn't explain where to go. Yeah, but that's me with those windows, you know? Like, even if she did explain, I wouldn't be able to hear a word she was saying anyway through that plexiglass. It just becomes muffled and... But anyway, NU Central. Luckily, I know the name NU Central from previous visits. Otherwise, I'd have no idea what she was talking about. We are on a modern bureaucratic adventure. So there's the central platform. You can get onto the Sungai Buloh Kajang line, Rapid KL, Clia Express to go to the airport, KTM commuter, intercity KTM. It's all down there. New Central Mall. It's a Sunday, as I said. I don't know if that means the mall is busier than other days on a Sunday or less so. Interactive mall map, which is actually really popular. I never see anyone using these things. But suddenly, oh, there it is. So Rapid KL, perhaps. Oops. Backspace. I'm having trouble here by people waiting behind me. Makes me nervous and I make mistakes. Rapid KL. Nothing is coming up. I'm looking for, I need to activate my card. They said come to New Central.
Level 2.
Level 2?
You can touch and go.
Oh, touch and go office. Ah, awesome. Thank you. And we are on level
C. 2 floor up.
2 floor up. Okay, thank you. Okay. A security guard came over, saw that I was having trouble and helped me out. And I never would have found it because I would have typed in MRT, LRT, Rapid KL, My Rapid. I would have typed all the words on here looking for anything associated with this, but it's actually a touch and go card. And there is a touch and go office, he said, on level 2. But of course, I had no idea what level I was on. So where is level 2? He said 2 up. Let's see. Okay, this is level 1. But it is funny, I find, the way people who work in offices associated with what you want to do, for them, the knowledge you're looking for is so obvious that it's not even worth mentioning. So like, they know there's a touch and go office in the mall, and they know that I have to go here to activate it. And for them, it's just so obvious, it doesn't really need explanation. They just sort of spit the information out there, you know, so, oh, New Central, go New Central. But of course, for them, it's second nature knowledge, but to me, it's like, I don't know. So there's the center of the mall. I always love these open areas that they put in the middle, you know, that open up. See the roof up there? All right, oh, there it is, touch and go, right there. Look at that. Touch and go, so it's a touch and go card in addition to being a Rapid KL card, I guess. Okay, that's good. This is interesting. Touch and go is now cashless. As of March 25th, we are no longer accepting cash as payment at the counter. So even if I want to put money on this card, I can't do it at the touch and go office. They won't accept money from me. Isn't that interesting? Hopefully there's another way to do it though, because I don't really have a card that they'll accept. So how do I speak to a human being? Looks like I have to take a number. And again, this is kind of funny. Whenever I do something like this, my option is never on the screen. Like, I don't want to purchase one or reload one. I don't want to order one. None of these, you know, apply to me. Maybe inquiry, but I think purchase and reload is the best. I just...
Please take your ticket.
Because what I want to do is activate an invalid card. And of course, that's not one of the options. Oh, look at this. So here is a, what can this machine do for me? Reload your touch and go card here. And, oh, okay, you can put money in here. All right, they just don't accept money at the counter, but their machines will still accept money. As I often say, I think I missed my calling in life. I'm just so attuned to organization. I just see it everywhere. I can't help but think about it. Because right here, they have the system where you take a number and you have to wait for your number to show up on the screen. But all the benches are facing this wall. And on that wall, you can't see anything. There's no information there. The screen is way over there. And you kind of have to crane your head sharply to the right to even see that. And then each counter is numbered, but half the time the numbers are covered up by the people standing there. So yeah, basically I would take that screen, have two of them maybe, but move it from there. It should be right here, because that's where all of us are looking right now, straight ahead. So that's where the screen should go. And then there should be numbers above each counter that are clearly in view and not blocked by everybody in front of you. Just my two cents of organizational insight. But I do wonder how these big corporations do this. I mean, they must have departments that think about design and efficiency, and it seems like a pretty obvious thing to think about here. Oh, move that sign over there. But they don't have people who think about these things?
1, 0, 4, 4, count to 3.
You're right. Hi. Okay. I hardly even know what to say. I don't know what just happened. I will try to tell the story, but I'm so confused. I'm so confused. And what has happened to the world? Like, honestly, what is going on with the world? Because I was so confused about what just happened. I just wanted to sit down and tell the story, and I thought, there's always McDonald's. Like, I knew McDonald's was up on the top floor here. Just grab a cold drink, sit down, relax. And here I am at McDonald's. And McDonald's is from the future as well. I don't know how to order here. I don't want to order here. It's too complicated. I just wanted to go to the counter and say to a human being, yeah, I'll have a large fries and a medium Coke and sit down. But check this out. The whole place has been redesigned, and you have to use the McDonald's app to order. Take a seat, order from the McDonald's app, and we will serve you at your table. Look at all these people just happily clicking away on things, and I guess you have to have cashless cards in order to do it. Like, you can't even eat at McDonald's unless you're from the future. I don't get what's going on. Like, maybe you can pay in cash still, but I do not want to go through all this. I'm not in the mood to figure this out today. Maybe it'll be fun to figure out, but that's going to be a challenge for another day. I've already got 2 challenges going on. So I'm just going to go for a walk here, and I don't know if I'll even find a little coffee shop where I can sit down or something. You know, for the coffee shop, I'll need to have a chip implanted in my brain to order the coffee, apparently. What has happened? I'm so out of place. It's crazy. I wanted to sit down to tell this story because I didn't think I could do it otherwise. It's so weird. Anyway, I'll see if I can tell it as I walk, and you can look at the shops around me, perhaps, and entertain yourself that way. As you know, I have this card, Touch and Go Rapid KL card. I don't have it anymore. They took it, and I went to the window at Paso Arseni, and they said, oh, you can't do it here. You have to go, I thought she said, you know, KL Central window 2. But I think now what she actually said was New Central 2nd floor, like floor number 2. But I didn't know anything about New Central and the Touch and Go office, so I just assumed she meant I had to go to the MRT ticketing counter, but at KL Central. And they could do something for me that she couldn't. I mean, that's what I thought she was saying. Oh, Celebrity Fitness. Yeah, all this is different. Feels different to me anyway. I don't remember Mr. Tuk Tuk. Look at this, Mr. Tuk Tuk restaurant. They even have a Tuk Tuk right here, and a stylized one, Mr. Tuk Tuk. But anyway, as you saw, I went to the KL Central ticketing window, and they said, no, not there. I have to go to New Central, but I didn't know where at New Central, so I came here. The security guard told me about the Touch and Go office, because I was looking for a Rapid KL office, Penang Rapid KL metro system. Like, why wouldn't I? I didn't realize, even on that card I had, it said Touch and Go on it, but it was in tiny letters way up in the top left-hand corner. I wouldn't even see it unless I was, wearing my glasses and examining it closely. I didn't know it said Touch and Go on the card, I don't think. Anyway, so I found the Touch and Go office, and they're really busy. So many people there. And I was chatting with a guy sitting beside me, asking him what he was there to do, because I couldn't figure out what all these people were doing there. Like, it's all cashless now. Can't all these people just take their Touch and Go eWallet cards, go to a machine, load up, and then go out shopping? Like, what could they all be needing to do there? And he explained that his card was expired. So he was there to get a new one. He didn't know what everybody else was doing, but he said this is like the one office for like all of KL, he said. So everybody has to come here. And that's why it's so busy. You know, that's what he said. But I waited quite a while, quite a crowd of people. My number was finally called. I went up to the woman, very lovely, friendly, helpful woman, but so soft-spoken. I could not hear a word she said. I mean, I was leaning over the table. I felt I had to jump over the counter and climb into her lap just to like hear what in the world she was saying. I couldn't make out a word. And it turns out we engaged in a very unusual transaction. So unusual that she made me promise not to tell anyone about it. I'm breaking that promise, obviously, but that's because she associated it with her. Like, don't tell anyone about me and that I did this for you. And I promised. I said, no, I won't tell anyone. I knew I'd tell the story on video, but I'm not associating it with any particular person. So I think it's okay. But anyway, she was being very conspiratorial, like whispering, and she kept urging me to come closer, and she's looking around. And she got out a piece of paper and started writing down long sentences on this piece of paper. Just a scrap, not a form or anything, but just a scrap notepad or something. And I was wondering, what in the world could she be writing? Like, what is this all about? And then she finally kind of looked up at me again and whispered something and urged me to come closer, come closer. She looked to the left, to the right, and she was sort of covering up this paper from the sides so that only I could see it. And then she held it up so that I could read it. Oh, I wish I remembered what it said now, but it was something like, I can help you with this, but please don't show anyone and don't tell anyone what I did. Something like that. And I had no idea what she meant, and I was sort of looking puzzled, and she pointed at a sign that said something about how they were sold out of these new touch and go fancy cards that have embedded chips in them or something. Whatever cards are the common cards to have now, they're sold out, and they have signs everywhere saying, don't even ask, we don't have them anymore. But of course, as in most places, when they tell you that, they often have a couple in reserve for VIPs, and she was treating me like a VIP. And after a lot of back and forth, I figured out, okay, technically they're sold out of these cards, because my card, she said, was garbage. There's nothing they could do with that card. It's just going in the trash. It's so old and so outdated. You know, I was like a caveman, a Neanderthal going in there with that card, handing it to her. It's like, I can't do anything with this. This is from like, 10,000 BC, buddy. This is so outdated. So that card was gone. And my only option was to get a new card, but they were sold out of the new cards. But she was willing to make an exception for me, but only if, I keep it a secret that she did this for me. And man, and she said originally, okay, let me look into this. Let me, deal with this, and you go sit down, and let's wait for the lineup to die down. And when the lineup dies down, I'll call you over, and then we can do this, right? And I was like, I guess I don't know what you're talking about, but I understood. Sit down and wait. Everyone always tells me, sit down and wait. That much I understood. What was supposed to happen next, I have no idea. But I'm very capable of sitting down and waiting. I'm doing it all the time. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. I'll go sit down and wait. I got out my video editing phone, and I'm happily editing a video while I'm sitting there waiting. And I thought I'd be there for 2 or 3 hours because she said we had to wait for the lineup to clear out. And there were so many people there. The lineup was spilling out into the shopping mall. There were so many people, more coming all the time. So that lineup was never going to be cleared out, not until Monday or Tuesday. And I was thinking I should just leave, come back on a weekday. This is a weekend, it's busy. But I thought, I don't know, I started this adventure, let's see it through. I was very curious about what was going on. And then much earlier than I expected, someone was nudging me because I wasn't paying attention. And they says, oh, your turn. And the woman was trying to get my attention. So I put away my phone and I went up to the counter, and then I still didn't know what we were talking about, to be honest. I didn't understand anything. I was just doing what she was telling me to do. And then she said, well, again, she explained something about being sold out, but don't tell anyone, and da-da-da. I'm like, okay, big secret. And then she asked me for an ID card. So I figured I would have to present ID at some point. So I got out my passport. You know, I'm reaching for my passport. It says I have my passport, assuming that would be good enough. That's the only ID I have that would be accepted in Malaysia. And she's like, no. Like credit card, you have Visa, MasterCard, and that's a whole other story that I do have a credit card technically, but I don't physically have it now because it expired back in Canada and a new one was shipped out and I don't have the new one yet. So I couldn't give her a credit card. And I didn't know why she needed a credit card anyway. I said, isn't this just a touch and go easy card for the metro system? Can't I just grab a card, like a debit charge card, put it in the machine, put 50 ringgit on it, and then just go ride the subway? Like, I don't know why this is so complicated. But it turns out she needed money. For the new card, there's a 10 ringgit fee, and they can't accept cash anymore. As I read at the beginning, as I went in, at the counter, they don't deal in cash. So now we were stymied because I had to pay her 10 ringgit, but I couldn't pay her in cash. I had to pay her with a credit card, which I didn't have. And even if I had a credit card, I wouldn't have used it because I get nervous about that. So let me keep walking. This might be a, boring scene. I was going to sit down in one of these chairs, like a massage chair. I'm a connoisseur of massage chairs as well. But as you'll find out in a minute, I don't have any money left. So I don't have any money to put into the chair. Let's go down to another floor. Let's leave McDonald's behind. It's annoying me that I can even see McDonald's over there. My goodness. I guess I'll figure it out eventually, how you order them. Do I have to download an app for every store I visit now? Okay, the modern world. But anyway, she said, yeah, I need a credit card. And I couldn't tell her the whole story about how my credit card is in transit, because it was shipped to an address in Canada and I don't have it yet. I just told her, I don't have a credit card. And of course, she looked at me like I had three heads. Like, how can you not have a credit card? Because I'm traveling, I'm not in my home country, I don't need one, I don't have a credit card. And then I said, I have money, I can give you 10 ringgit. And she's like, no, we can't accept cash here. And then, angel that she is, she says, listen, I'll pay for it and you pay me. So she had some sort of a payment system that's automated, cashless payment. And somehow from her desk, from her own personal account, she could pay the 10 ringgit in a cashless way, which is the only way, apparently, that you can do anything these days. And after she paid the 10 ringgit for me, I had to give her 10 ringgit. And then my life, my life just feels like, again, like I'm on candid camera all the time. I go into my wallet and I don't think I have 10 ringgit. I have a 50 ringgit note and I have a 100 ringgit note, and I pull out the 50 ringgit and I say, well, I have a 50 ringgit note. And she's like, well, we're cashless. The whole point of this transaction is you can't pay in cash and I don't have any change to give you. You have to pay me 10 ringgit. So I started digging through my wallet, and through a combination of a 5 ringgit note and some singles, I was lucky enough to have 5 singles. And I counted them out. Oh, I'm walking towards the touch and go store, and I'm under strict orders to just get as far away from that store as possible. So I'm not even supposed to be on this floor anymore. She gave me instructions about what to do next, like go away, don't show anyone, go as far away as you can. And then in order to act, well, anyway, I'll get to that part of the story. So I managed to scrounge up 10 ringgit and give it to her. And then she did some things with a package, with a card. I haven't even looked at it myself yet. And it's in a special packaging and everything. And then she wouldn't hand it to me. She took out a piece of paper, like an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of scrap paper, folded it over the card to hide it, and then very sneakily kind of handed it to me and says, don't show anyone what you have. Like, leave touch and go, keep it covered up, and then take it somewhere else, far away from here, and then go to, you know, like she said, 7-Eleven or some sort of convenience store, and then I have to do something with the card. I assume put money on it, right? So, but she says, don't do it here, and don't, you know, go far away from my office, and don't ever come back again, and don't tell anyone what I did for you. And apparently, I'm going to reveal it. I haven't even seen it myself. I'm going to take it out of the covering, and there it is. I have a little special envelope containing a brand new touch and go card, which apparently is a hot item. So hot that they're sold out, and if anyone in that lineup knew I had one, they were going to tear me to pieces to get it and steal it from me or something. I don't know what's going on. I never do. But yeah, if I ever get a chance to sit down, I'll open this up and take a look at it. And now I have to go somewhere else, and like she said, a 7-Eleven or something, and maybe get them to activate it or put money on it. I don't really know what the next stage is. I spotted something. Starbucks. I have not been in a Starbucks in an extremely long time. Maybe I can go to Starbucks for a cup of coffee, and I can relax and gather my wits. It's going to be an expensive coffee, but that's all right. But now, of course, yeah, this being Malaysia, there's no way to get there. I mean, there's there's no way to cross this. I thought I could go around this fence, but it goes off in that direction for quite a while. And then there's another fence on the other side. I guess I'd have to go all the way back up into the mall, cross over, and then go back down again to get over there. Yeah, there's no legal, I mean, in other circumstances, I just hop over this fence and go over there. Maybe I still will, but there are a lot of security guards around here. The fact that I can't see one right now doesn't mean they're not watching me. So I think I'm just going to do the legal thing and go back into the mall, up and down the other side, and back in the mall. I saw a couple of places there that looked interesting. I could get like a coconut smoothie or something, but it's the usual scene. There's no seating anywhere, so I couldn't sit down. There's one coffee shop up there, but it was extremely loud and noisy, loud music playing, and right in a really busy area. And I should be on the level of Starbucks. Aha. Yeah, I made it across. I feel like Indiana Jones in a way. All I'm doing is getting a cup of coffee. But I'm on the other side now. And this is Starbucks. Is it kind of quiet inside? Yeah, okay. This, I ought to be able to calm down in here. A lot of the coffee that I've had recently just has not been satisfactory. Like ever since I got to Kuala Lumpur, I just had bad luck with all the coffees I've ordered. So it'll be interesting to see if this one ups its game, you know? What shall I get? Yeah, standard hot latte, I think. The whole situation I was describing just now was made worse, of course, because while I was sitting there, I was very clearly talking into a camera. And then when I went up to the counter to initially just show them my old card and ask them, you know, can I activate this old card? I mean, her eyes just zeroed in on the camera. I just sort of plopped it on the counter. You know, I wasn't using it or anything, but she's like, oh, my face, you know, don't, like, you know, like, don't worry, I'm not recording you or anything like that. But just having the camera anywhere near was, you know, was a huge problem for her. So, yeah, that made her doubly nervous dealing with me. Believe it or not, I think I'm going to bail on this place too. It's just a huge lineup, and everybody here is paying cashless, and there's a problem with all their cards. They're trying to figure out how they can pay, and there's like a whole bunch of people waiting for their coffees, I think. I'm just about to leave because I'm going to be paying with a 50 ringgit note. That's all I have. And I think this guy is going to call the cashless police and have me arrested or something. I'm very nervous being a cash guy in a cashless world. I'm hoping this new card that I have, that I can't tell anyone about, is like a one that I can use everywhere. Like I could use it here in Starbucks like everybody else does, just no cat, like use it in the markets and things like that. Find out. I guess I won't run away. I'll just stay in this lineup and see what happens. I'm tired. Oh, I did it. I was that close to leaving. All the people behind me in line, they actually left. So by the time I got to the front, there was actually nobody behind me because, yeah, I just couldn't wait any longer. But I hung in there. And I was taken by surprise when they asked for my name, because it's very rare that I'm in a Starbucks. I can't tell you the last time. Everything I know about Starbucks just comes from movies and TV shows, and there's always that thing where you have to put your name on the cup, and there's always a joke associated with that. So he asked me, oh, your name, please? And then I know my name is impossible to ever understand or spell, so I just said Bob, B-O-B, Bob. So in in Starbucks, I am Bob. The omens are good because this is a big cup, and I've been burned recently a lot when they give me a big cup and then I pick it up and I practically throw it through the air because I'm expecting weight, and it's so light that I fling it through the air. But this has heft, so it's actually full. And it cost a lot, 15 ringgit, so, well, $3. Seems like in my world, with my history, it's a lot to spend on a cup of coffee. Oh, that is nice though. Okay. At least if you get value for your money, it's okay. So there's the cup, and it's filled with foam and coffee, you know, all the way to the brim. Nice. That is so nice. Oh, nice. Starbucks, go figure. That's where I should be going for my coffee, apparently. Oh, yeah, that is class. The beautiful foam on the top. Hot, nice and hot. Wow, good coffee flavor. I was honestly expecting to be disappointed. You know, Starbucks, a famous coffee place, and you go there and pay a premium, and then you end up with ordinary coffee and it doesn't feel worth it. That's what I was expecting. No, this is amazing. That is the best cup of coffee I have had in a very long time, dating all the way back, long time into Thailand. Wow, it's kind of embarrassing when you think about it, considering how many cafes I go to, how many coffee shops, and I finally get a really good cup of coffee, and it's at Starbucks. Oh, wow, that is so good. Anyway, drum roll. Hopefully I didn't lose it after all this. Like, where the heck did I put? There we are. I'm dropping everything else. My pockets are full of GoPro tools and things like that. My new MRT map, and my old MRT map. And buried in there is my new card. I don't know what's going on with this. There it is. Huh. okay. It is, yeah, touch and go, but it also says touch and go eWallet. And my old card, the one from the Neanderthal days, had a little touch and go logo up in the top corner, but nowhere on it did it say eWallet. So maybe I've joined the modern world with this card. Yeah, it's sealed. Let me get my little knife out. It's a very precision operation. There. Oh, sealed on 3 sides. I feel like I'm opening the box for a new iPhone or something. Ooh. Ooh. Hey. Look at that. Wow. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I have it. I don't know how I got it. I don't know what to do with it, but there it is. And there are instructions, but they're okay. Okay, so I have to get Touch and Go eWallet on my phone. Is that how that works? So I don't even know whether I can download the Touch and Go eWallet app. Wow, look at that. Very fancy. It's got some sort of a Wi-Fi signal on the top corner there. So I guess it has embedded chips and things, and expires 2029. So I got 7 years. I can use this. If I stay in Malaysia for 7 years, I can continue to use this. I'm very excited, but as I said, I have no idea what it is. I don't know what to do with it. Okay, how to link and reload your enhanced Touch and Go card via Touch and Go eWallet. It's like, what is Touch and Go eWallet? Is it a smartphone app? Tap on the TNG card icon that must be on the app. Enter your card details manually or use the scan function to register. To scan, place your card at the back of your mobile phone. So it is an app. I mean, it just assumes I know that it's an app. And yeah, it's kind of funny. But what else could it be? After successfully adding the card, so you add the card to your eWallet account through the app, and you now reload it by clicking on the reload button. You can now use your Touch and Go card. Don't forget to register your card on the Touch and Go portal. Now what do I do? Honestly, I thought I was just going to get a card and I could go to the little machine and put 50 ringgit on it and go in and out of the MRT system. That's all I wanted to do. But apparently, I need this in my life. And yeah, I'll try right now if I can download the eWallet app. And then I'm assuming in order to activate it, though, I'm going to need a local bank account, which I don't have. Like, how else do you put, I can't reload it through the app unless there's money behind the app, you know? Anyway, I will report back on how all that works out. Yeah, it was so funny getting up to the front of the line here at Starbucks because everyone in front of me, every single person was doing a cashless transaction. And I didn't see exactly what they were doing, but I think they all had different cards associated with different apps, different banks, and it was a complicated procedure. So I do not see the advantage over cash for that counter, because every time the guy got one of the cards and they scanned it or did something with it, there was some issue with it. They had to have a discussion about it, and he was entering numbers, and it took a while, and then they printed out a receipt, and then he had to hold the card with the receipt, look at some numbers, and he was typing a whole bunch of numbers into the cash register screen, and then they had more discussions, and it took a very long time for every single customer. There was an issue with their cashless transaction. But the funny thing is that after seeing all that and seeing no money changing hands, I was feeling weird. I need some more of this. Oh, my goodness. So good. And still piping hot. My whole world is turning upside down. Apparently I'm a Starbucks convert now. Wow, that is so good. But I remember, like in the old days, in movies and TV shows, again, there's always that classic scene where someone is trying to do something, but they don't have any cash. So they go up to the cash register kind of apologetically, like, do you take Visa? Like, do you take credit cards? And the thing was always the problem. The problem was if you wanted to use a credit card, but then you couldn't find any place that accepted it. But now it's been flipped. I'm wandering around. I went up to the cash register and I said to him, I apologetically pulled up my wallet, pulled out a 50 ringgit note and said, this is all I have. Like, do you take cash? Like, I had to confirm whether or not he took cash before I placed my order. And then to my delight, he says, yes, we take cash. So I had a bit of a chuckle with him over that. He and Bob had a little bit of a moment together. Yeah, nice guy. Staffing the Starbucks counter. Oh, and anyone who can make a coffee like that, okay in my books. Wow, that is so good. But all of that, by the way, was only the first story. And I did not expect that to turn into such a complicated thing. And it's nowhere near done. I still have to download the app and go through the setup process. I thought it would be just a simple transaction. I didn't expect it to be so complicated. The next thing I want to do is quite a bit more complicated, I think, and take some explanation. I have to go back in time to give the build-up. Yesterday, I was wandering around with my GoPro, shooting one of these journal videos. Finished it, went back to my guest house, and then I copied all the video files from the memory card to my laptop. All these GoPro files, they all start with GH, which I always thought stands for GoPro Hero. Turns out it doesn't, but anyway, GH. And then you look for, the date. It gives you the date, and then all the video files I shot on that day said today. So here's all the GH GoPro files shot today. I grabbed them all, copy them to my laptop, pull them into DaVinci Resolve, and I'm happily editing away. I get through all of those very quickly. I get to the last video file and the story just gets cut off. A third of my video files are missing, nowhere to be found. I got all my GH files, all my GoPro files, copied them over, and a third of the files, the whole end of my story, were just gone. They were not there. And I was like, oh, I must have missed them. I hadn't copied them, so I went back to the memory card and I looked. No, I copied all of the GoPro files. And then I thought, maybe the GoPro accidentally saved it under a different date. So I checked all the previous dates, like every file that had a date on it, checking all of them. No, none of those are shot today. That maybe the GoPro corrupted all those files and none of them were recorded. Maybe they're hidden. Like, do I have to run some kind of a recovery program to find them? Thought about that for a while, and that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I'm just going around and around and around and trying to figure out what happened. Like, did I change memory cards and I forgot? No, I hadn't done that. And then, going back to the memory card one more time, I found way down at the bottom on a totally different list, a bunch of files starting with the suffix GX. And I thought, those might be my GoPro files. And I checked, and that's what they were. Somehow, in the middle of filming, my GoPro switched from saving GH files, starting with the suffix GH. Now it was saving all my video files in a different format, starting with GX. I did a bunch of research, and I think I found out that the GH files, those are normal H.264 files. That's the codec, H.264, and that is a GH file. But if you happen to save HVEC, like HVEC.265 files, those get saved with a suffix GX. Are you with me? So somehow, in the middle of using my GoPro yesterday, the GoPro started saving in a different format. And this was a real mystery to me. I couldn't figure out how or why for the longest time, because I didn't change anything. I didn't change the format. I didn't do anything. So why did the GoPro do this automatically? And it turned out it was because I changed the battery in the GoPro. And this is a new GoPro to me. It operates a little bit differently than my older one. And with this one, every time I put in a new battery, for some reason it turns on automatically. I put in a new battery, beep, it turns on. And it turned on when I was in the middle of trying to remount it, like put it back in the media mod, get the thumb screw, attach it to my grip. And so I was handling the GoPro a lot while I was trying to do this. And because the GoPro had turned on, the touchscreen was active, which I didn't realize. I didn't think about that. And as I was holding the camera, it was touching my thigh because I'm holding it down on my lap. I'm trying to screw in the thumb screw. And at some point in all this manhandling, I had changed the settings through the touchscreen. I had hit something on the screen and it changed it to a new recording format, and all my files from that point on were saved as H.265 files instead of H.264 files. And that's where all my missing files went. Solved that mystery. This is eventually leading around to my problem. And I thought, okay, that's fine. So now I was going to take my memory card, copy all the 265 files, pull them into DaVinci Resolve, finish editing my video. But DaVinci Resolve wouldn't accept them. Like normally I just click on them and I drag them into the media pool and it just, you just drop them into DaVinci Resolve. I try to drop all these GX files into DaVinci Resolve and it just, it won't go in. It just will not go into DaVinci Resolve. I thought, oh, for Pete's sake. And apparently these 265 files are a totally different beast from 264 files, right? And I'm trying to figure out now what can I do with these files. And I find all these websites where people are talking about converting them. Like if your machine or your computer or whatever program you're using won't accept 265 files, you can convert them using this program back to 264 files. And it turns out I was able to solve that problem without converting them, which is a big relief. It turns out that with these H.265 files, for whatever reason, you can't drag and drop them into DaVinci Resolve. But if you start in DaVinci Resolve and click on the Add Media button and then go open the folder and click on these video files one by one by one, then they will get imported into DaVinci Resolve. But if I try to drag one over and just drop it in like I normally do, that won't work. Don't know why. At this point, don't care why. I just need it to work. So I finally got all of my video files into the program, and then I finished editing the video. I exported it, and the key thing about these journal video files for me is that they're fast and easy, and just shoot them in the morning, upload them in the morning, and they're done. Shoot them in the afternoon, upload them in the evening, and they're done. Otherwise, they just don't make any sense. And this particular video already made no sense at all because I'd lost, 2.5, 3 hours just trying to figure out where these missing video files went and then finally get them into the program. I mean, it was just a long, complicated process until I finally figured out what was going on. So the whole thing was already ruined. And now I finally had my video, and I was going to upload it to YouTube during the night. There's no way it was going to take place during the day. I'll just let my laptop upload during the night, and then I could post it in the morning. But then, no Wi-Fi. All the Wi-Fi in my guest house just disappeared. Whatever reason, there was no Wi-Fi. It wasn't available on any of my lists, and I had no access to Wi-Fi to do any uploading. And I couldn't get on the internet through the Wi-Fi. But of course, I have a SIM card enabled phone. So I have a Cellcom SIM card that I got when I was in Georgetown. And at the very least, I wasn't sure I could upload the video file using the hotspot, because I can connect to the internet using my phone, using the SIM card, using a data connection, and then I can connect my laptop to the phone using a Wi-Fi hotspot on my phone. So that was my new plan. And then I turned on hotspot, and then I was going to connect my laptop, and I got an error message that said, it was from Cellcom saying, "You have used up your hotspot quota for the month. Please purchase more if you wish to use Wi-Fi hotspot." Of course. Like when I didn't do a ton of research when I got the SIM card. I have so many technology things to research. If there's an easy way, from time to time, I'll just take the easy way. And when I got the SIM card, it was all very straightforward. Basically, I could choose between Digi and Maxis Hotlink, and Cellcom. And I tried the other two before, and I thought, I'll just go for Cellcom this time, because when you get a prepaid SIM card, it seems to be just kind of a standard package. You just get Cellcom, and as the guy explained it to me, it costs this much, and you get unlimited everything. Of course, I didn't really believe him, but he says, yeah, unlimited data, unlimited calls, unlimited texts for the next 30 days, unlimited everything. And I kind of pressed him on that. It's like, really? Because normally you might get like a couple of gigabytes of, say, like high-speed data. And then when they get around to giving you the unlimited data, it's so throttled back and it's so slow that it's absolutely useless anyway. That's usually what they do. They tell you it's unlimited, but there is a there's a caveat in there. But he insisted, no, it's just unlimited data all the time, unlimited everything. So I'm like, yeah, I don't believe you, but what else am I going to do? This is the SIM card I'm going to get. So I got the SIM card, and I'm thinking, okay, unlimited everything. I'm happy as can be. And then, of course, it turns out that everything is unlimited except for hotspot. That is not unlimited. Apparently, I had some kind of a data limit on that, some kind of a quota for hotspot. I'd never even heard of anything like that before. But there it was, and it said I had reached my quota. I had used it all up, and if I wanted to use Wi-Fi hotspot with this phone, I would have to somehow buy more hotspot. It was like, oh, come on, really? But yeah, that was what I was faced with. And I do have the Cellcom app downloaded to my phone. So I opened up my Cellcom app and I'm looking around, and sure enough, buried deep in the menus, hotspot is an add-on. And I went into the add-on menu, and there's a whole bunch of things you can buy there, special features. And hotspot is a special feature, it is an add-on. And I clicked on it, and sure enough, it said my quota had been used up, and I needed to purchase more. But of course, I don't know how to purchase more. This is something else I have to figure out, and that kind of brings us up to date, because basically, I guess, I have to put money on my phone. I have to top up my phone so I have a balance of ringgit on my phone, and then I can use that balance to buy these things that they told me were unlimited, but in fact I actually have to purchase in order to keep using them. So that's what I'm out here to do. And I thought I'd go to the Blue Cube Cellcom office, you know, like a central hub for a Cellcom, talk to the Blue Cube people and kind of ask them about this whole hotspot business and this add-on business and how does it work? Like the quota, what is that quota? Is it time? Is it a quota of data? Like, I don't even know how the quota works. You know, did I start with a certain number of gigabytes and now I used up my gigabyte quota, or did I use it for a number of hours and I used up my hours, minutes? I have no idea. So I want to find all this out by going to Cellcom. And I'm a little bit leery of this because every SIM card I've ever had lately, both in Malaysia and in Thailand, when I put money on my card, like on my phone, it disappears. I keep thinking I can put 100 ringgit on the phone and then it'll be there and I can just spend it over time. Like maybe my hotspot is going to cost 10 ringgit. So I put 50 on the phone, I buy some hotspot for 10, I should have 40 left. And then next time I need to buy something, I'll go back and I will have 40 ringgit. But I guarantee you that by the time I get back there, the 40 ringgit will have drained away and it will have disappeared. They just do that. They just keep taking little bits and if you put money on your phone, they will find a way to take it from you. Every time. Happened in Thailand all the time and I could not figure out what was going on. Like, what was I buying? I wasn't buying anything. And it would happen instantly where I would go to this place where they have the service of topping up your phone for you. So I would give the guy whatever it was, 200 baht or 300 baht and say, can you put 300 baht on my phone? And then he goes, doop, 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 doop. And he sends 300 baht to my phone from his phone. I give him 300 baht in cash. Now I've got 300 baht. Great. I get on my scooter, ride back to my guest house, and I get out my phone to do whatever it is I needed to purchase. And I've got 150, 140 baht left. Because in between the store and my guest house, my phone had drained away half of the money I had loaded onto it. And I don't know where it went. And I'll spend like 50 baht to do whatever it was I needed to do, send a text message or something, and then I'll have 100 baht left. Next morning I wake up, it's down to 0. And I don't know where the money went. No clue. Feels like, it's like having money in your bank account, and if you withdraw some, the remainder should stay until you need it. But on these phones, anything I put on the phone, the company figures out a way to drain it off your phone, and then you just have to go buy more. So I'm a bit concerned about this, but we'll see what happens. Maybe Cellcom is different. I said I wouldn't do this, but I'm just sitting here enjoying my coffee, and I thought I would, I have data, I have unlimited data on my phone, so I might as well install the Touch and Go eWallet while I'm here. 9% downloaded, 10%. And I'm just waiting to find what the barrier will be. I know I won't be able to use this. I assume, I don't know, but I assume I won't be able to use it for some reason. I explained to the woman there that I'm not a Malaysian, obviously, and I'm not a resident. I do not have any kind of an ID card. I don't have a bank account. I don't have any Malaysian ID. I'm a tourist. All I have is my passport and a Canadian bank account. So I explained that to her, but it didn't seem to be an issue for her in terms of me using Touch and Go eWallet. But we shall find out. Funny thing is that with a card, I can sort of keep up with the idea of a card because it's a physical card, and I can go to a machine, put this into the machine or put it on the sensor of the machine, put money into the machine, and the money will be transferred digitally into the card itself. That I get. I'm used to that idea. But as soon as you introduce an app, I don't know how to put money on my phone. Because then you're starting to get into, well, you have to have it connected to a credit card or a bank account, right? You can't insert money into the phone, right? And I don't think you can put the phone on top of a machine and insert money in the machine and have it transferred to your phone. That doesn't work. So this, I understand the technology, but this, I don't. But I'll find out once I finish downloading it. All right, I'll bring you on this roller coaster ride of technology with me. So there's Touch and Go eWallet right there. I've downloaded it. It's on my phone, along with apps telling me how to lose my belly fat in 30 different ways. Now, open. What kind of information do they want from me? Sign up, okay. So I have to create an account. Your journey's a breeze with RFID, pay direct, and parking payments on one single e-wallet. Less cash, less hassle. Go cashless. Convenient online payments. Money back guarantee. Okay, so 100% compensation on unauthorized e-wallet transactions. We'll see about that. Enjoy great savings. Okay, so I guess I have to create an account. What do they need for that? Mobile phone number, of course. So yeah, I'll dive into this and I'll check back in. I'll tell you how it went wrong, because I know it will. Okay, I'm kind of done. Took a long time. It was really detailed. And I'm not quite sure what I did. And I still don't know what I can do. It was so funny. It was because it's a two-stage process, which I kind of forgot about in the middle, because where I left off, I was downloading the eWallet, the Touch and Go eWallet app. It was busy downloading to my phone, finally downloaded, then I opened it, and then I went through a very long procedure of signing up for an account, and like all the normal stuff you would expect, where I had to put in all my details, but it was very well organized. I'll give it that. It was exceptionally well put together. It gave me the option, like, oh, you're a Malaysian or a foreigner, which was great. So it sent me right down the foreigner path, where it wasn't asking me for Malaysian ID and stuff like that, or a Malaysian address that I didn't have. Once it knew I was a foreigner, it was asking for things like passport numbers. And then it felt like you could do a partial registration, like you didn't have to go whole hog with it and do everything. But I tend to go all the way. It's like I'm signing up, like whatever they offer me, like this feature, I'll take all of it, because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I will need or won't need later on. You have to set up a PIN, of course. You put your PIN number in, and then you can do face login if you want. So I did that, which means I have to, scan my face, and that was a lot of fun. I'm getting used to doing that because I've had to do it for quite a few things lately. But it is kind of weird because, I wear glasses these days in order to read my phone, but I don't generally wear them out in the world. But now I'm holding the phone this far away to scan my face, to have it without the glasses. But now it's giving me instructions on the phone of what to do, like move it closer, move it farther away, blink your eyes for some reason. I guess blinking your eyes triggers the camera. But I can't read the instructions anymore because I'm holding it this far away. So then I have to put on my glasses to bring it in closer, and now I've screwed up the face verification, and I get a message that says, "No face detected. You don't have a face." And I'm like, I do have a face. There it is. And then it tells me something to do, and then I can't read the instructions again, and we just go around in circles. Every time I put on my glasses to read, I try to do it fast, But of course, it just says, "You don't have a face, so please try again." That was pretty funny. But eventually I did this a number of times, that I started to recognize what the instructions were. So I didn't actually have to be able to read them in order to follow them. And I would position it correctly and then just sort of blink my eyes, and that triggered the camera, and then it's, you know, uploaded everything, and eventually that was done. I opened my account, and then I went through many more steps of entering my address, and then you could do more steps, like further verification that opened up more features, more services, if you verify your account. Like, I'd already verified my account as a whole, so I had the account, but then it said if you want to do like phone-to-phone transfers, and you want to do this, and you want to transfer money, all these things you may or may not want to do, then we have to like super verify. So I says, okay, let's super verify. And that involved taking a picture of your ID and then doing another face verification. And that was a little bit complicated because the photos, like scanning my ID, didn't really work at first. There was something weird going on, but I fought through that, and eventually I got a little screen, and it was the same size as a passport, because the Malaysian ID was shaped like this, so it wouldn't fit inside the camera lens. You know, it's like, hold it, it's not the right shape. But somehow I fixed that, and then it gave me a camera scanning lens that was like portrait to fit in a full passport. And then it scanned that. You have to make sure it has no glare in it, that it's positioned correctly, it's not on an angle, it's not shiny, and it's not blurry. So I did that, and everything looked good. And then I keep getting emails, like every stage that I did this, I got another verification email, that because you have to put in your email address as well. And every step, they send me an email that said, somebody just did this. Is this you? You know, click here to verify that it is you. So then I say, yes, that's me. I do the next stage. I get another email. Someone just did this. Like, was it you? Yes, it was me. Verify me. Went around and around. I swear, I've been here all day long. And I finally got to the very end, and I thought I was done. But then I realized all of that was just setting up and installing the app. Had nothing to do with the card. They're completely separate things. The whole point of this exercise was to activate my card, I thought. So now I was like, oh, okay, now I have the app, now I have the card. So now I've got to go back to the original instructions, which tells me how to activate my card, add it basically to my eWallet. So then it asked me to do things like, if you want to, you know, do like an NFC thing, all you have to do is click here and then tap the phone on your card. So like a moron, I'm over here in the corner of Starbucks, you know, going, I'm like, tap, 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 you know, nothing is happening. Like, I don't know. You know, tapping, but nothing's going on. But of course, you have to turn NFC on your phone. You have to go into settings and turn it on. And I'd never use NFC. So I actually got a message at some point. I didn't know whether it was coming from eWallet or coming from my phone, but it was telling me something about how I can activate NFC, because I went into settings and I slid the slider over to turn on NFC. And then it said to activate NFC, place your phone according to the diagram over the NFC reader. So I'm like, I don't have an NFC reader, but that's what it's telling me to do. And the circle, it said, was like sort of in the middle of my phone. So I'm like, well, I'm supposed to put my phone down on top of something. And there was something in here about putting the card on the back of my phone. So I thought maybe in this case, this is the NFC reader and it's asking me to put my phone on top of it. But I did that. I don't want to do it now because I feel like something's going to blow up. But nothing happened. That didn't work either. And I felt like I'd reached a dead end. But then all I did was exit out of that and it just went away. And I never had to do it again. It was never an issue after that. I don't know what that was. And then I got a screen that was just a manual thing that just said, enter the 10-digit code of your enhanced touch and go card. So I thought, okay, I must have a 10-digit number then, you know, it's very tiny. So my card has a serial number on it. I had a 10-digit, so I entered that into the eWallet, hit enter, and then I had to do another face verification. I think I did it 4 times, 4 separate face verifications. So I'm sitting here in Starbucks. Everybody out there thinks I keep taking their picture because I'm like, you know, I'm doing this and I keep saying you have no face. Something is blocking the camera. So I try it again, you know, and you have no face, you have no face, and there's your face, you know, and then it does it. And then, as far as I could tell, I was done. eWallet, enhanced touch and go card, but I still had no money on anything. So I found something on here that said reload, you know, how much money do you want to put onto your eWallet so that you can now start living life and buying things. And I knew this didn't make any sense because I can click on here all I want, but I have no access to money on the phone. Like, where is it going to come from? But I thought, well, let's see what happens. And I clicked, you know, reload, and it said how much, and I said 100 ringgit. And then, of course, it presented me with a list of Malaysian banks asking me to connect it to my Malaysian bank account. And that's what I was expecting all along. Like, eventually I had to come up against a barrier. There's no way this is going to work. We're talking about me and my life after all. Everyone else, they live on the normal world. I live on Planet Doug. And on Planet Doug, these things just don't happen so easily. So I thought, well, nothing there. I don't have any of those bank accounts, and I know I can't open one. So now what do? Turns out there was another menu where you can use your own credit card. Like, I can get my Visa card, enter it, and then anytime I reload, it will just charge it to my credit card from Canada. Apparently that's an option. I'm 99% sure it won't work because none of these things work for me, but it does seem to be an option. So the only thing left that I can think of is that I do have this physical card, and I must be able to somehow make it talk to the app. Like, they're one and the same now, right, aren't they? So if I go to a machine, give them 100 ringgit in cash, and they add it to here, I must have it, and I must be able to go around scanning QR codes and paying from my card through the app, right? One or the other. Then I should be able to use this to go in and out of the MRT system, even though it doesn't say Rapid KL on there anywhere. My old card was a dedicated MRT card. This one has nothing on it that I'm aware of about the MRT. Touch and go. Yeah, that's all it says. Touch and go eWallet. But I assume it will also work. So now what I have to do is go find someplace to put money on this card for me, and then we'll see what happens. Man, this has been a journey, let me tell you. I don't think I'm even gonna do the phone thing today, like Wi-Fi, hotspot, topping up my phone. I'm gonna save that for another day because this is enough for one day. And actually, just as I was leaving my guest house, the Wi-Fi came back. It just popped up out of nowhere. So I guess the manager of the hostel, he came to work. And when he went into his office, he runs like a camera store, a photocopy shop down below. So I think he came into work at like 11 or noon or something like that. And then he just turned on the Wi-Fi when he came into work, and then it turned on in the guest house as well. But I'm gonna worry about that later. This is enough for today. So next step, I'm gonna go try and find out how to put money on here. And I'll tell you what happens. All right, we're moving along. While I was sitting there was a young couple sitting near me, and as is my wont lately, I was sort of engaging them in conversation, making them a part of my journey towards touch and go freedom. And at one point, the guy got up to get another coffee or something, And then the woman was looking right over at me, doing my thing, you know, with the camera and everything. And we made eye contact, and she smiled at me, and I smiled back, and I explained what I was doing, you know, that, yeah, this is all new to me. I just got a Touch and Go card, and I'm signing up for the Touch and Go eWallet, and I'm figuring all this out, and we were chatting about it. And then when I finally got it done, you know, just as I was leaving, I chatted with them again about, yeah, so I just gave them an update, and I asked them my question, which is, okay, I've got an eWallet now on my phone, and I have an enhanced Touch and Go card, which I learned they didn't even have. They says, yeah, you know, we can't get them now. So, you know, you're very lucky to have one. So there you go. And I asked them, well, okay, I have the eWallet, I have this. Like, how do I put money on it now? Like, what are my options? And it turns out, of course, yeah, it's obvious, but wasn't obvious to me. You can just go to 7-Eleven, top up your card. They will do it for you. And then I was wondering, though, well, can't I do it in the MRT system? Because I used to take my Rapid KL Touch and Go card, and I would just do it in the machines here. That's what I would prefer to do. And they didn't seem to be clear about that. And they says, well, you can do that with a Rapid KL Touch and Go card. And I says, well, isn't this the same thing? I mean, I told them the story. I had one, but it's inactive. And when I brought it in to activate it, they told me it couldn't be activated, and I had to get the new card. So I assumed I would be able to use this one to go in and out of the MRT, right? Like I can just, but they didn't seem to know the answer to that, which struck me as odd. But anyway, I'm here in the MRT system, and I could go speak to somebody there. But there is a machine here, like a top-up machine, self-service kiosk. And at first, I was looking at all the cards that they work with. Like there's a big grid down at the bottom, and I read all of them, and there's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, how many? 1, 2, 3, 5, 20 of them. There's 20 different cards down there, and Touch and Go is not one of them. I thought, oh, for Pete's sake. The one thing that I have is always the one thing that isn't available. But then I noticed that Touch and Go is actually right there above it. There's a circle. So it actually has its own spot. So it's probably more, this is what I'm talking about, like way down here, I was reading all these, you know, looking for Touch and Go. You know, this one, Cellcom, Digi, Red One, Hotlink, on and on. And I was so annoyed because Touch and Go isn't an option. But then, ta-da, there's Touch and Go. So I don't know who runs this machine, but everybody seems to be using it. So I'm going to use it too. How to reload Touch and Go card. Select service, Touch and Go card, or Touch and Go eWallet. Insert card and select balance or reload button. Insert exact amount to reload. The machine will not dispense balance. Wait for the receipt printed and take out card from machine. Okay, so insert card here. There doesn't seem to be a particular way to put it in. So look at this. In goes my card. Okay, I thought it would be sucked in, but I guess it just has a scanner down there. Oh, I'm supposed to select service, Touch and Go card first. This is kind of confusing though, because this is Touch and Go eWallet. This is Touch and Go card, but it looks totally different from my Touch and Go card. But let's go with the card. Insert card and touch to start. Okay, my card is in. Touch to start. Time left. Card balance is 0. I've got 35 seconds left. I'm going to add 100 ringgit because that's the only bill I have. So it just took 100 ringgit. Please wait. Do not remove your card. Do you want to print the receipt? Yes. 100 ringgit has been successfully reloaded. Please remove your TNG card. So it may not look it, but apparently this card is now worth 100 ringgit. Stored in there. And let's just check the balance just for fun. Touch and go card, select insert card, touch to start. There it is, card balance, 100. Excellent. Cancel. So, success. Now, the inaugural trip on the MRT using my card. As I was leaving Starbucks, greatest coffee of my life, by the way. I just want to emphasize that. Another couple sitting at a table, they overheard me talking about all this stuff, and they stopped me and said, oh, we can explain for you. And the guy got out the woman explained to me first as to how all this works. And then the man got out his phone and he showed me. Because my question is the opposite of theirs. They were saying, well, what you do is, and then he got out his phone and says, okay, here's a reload. You hit the reload button, and then you choose your payment method, choose your bank account. Money goes into your eWallet, and then you just tap your card, and you can transfer using NFC, transfer from the eWallet to your card. And I was saying to him, well, I want to go the other way. Like, I think I know how to put money on my card, which I just proved I am able to do on my own without help. And now I have 100 ringgit here. Can I transfer money from here to the e-wallet on my phone? And he didn't know the answer to that. He says, whoa, nobody does that. I says, I know. I didn't say this to him, but on Planet Doug, we do everything the other way around. However you do it, we do it the opposite way on Planet Doug. So that's what I want to do. I've got 100 ringgit here. I want to put half of it onto my phone. Can I do that? I guess I'll experiment with that later. Somehow I don't think you'll be able to. Because when you click on reload on the app, you're given a list of where you can get the money from, and all the banks, credit cards, but it doesn't list this card as a source of money for the e-wallet. So I think it can go from the e-wallet to your card, but not from your card to your e-wallet, if that makes any sense. But anyway, yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave the mall. Yeah, let's get out of here. The big moment. Someone reminded me that when I was going through the MRT system before and taking video, I made a swoosh sound, like a swoosh, whenever the card emerged. And maybe I can do that. If I found a swoosh sound, you just heard it. So let's see if this works. And let me put on my glasses so I can read the balance as I go through. Let's see what happens. Can I read that screen? Yeah, look at that. It showed the balance of 100 ringgit. And then when I go out the other side, it will delete 1 ringgit 30 cents for this trip. Isn't that interesting? And I want to go to this side. Again, I love these signs. I pointed out in another video how logical and intuitive they are. You can just glance at them and you know exactly where you are and where you're going. Because I'm here, KL Central, and all of this is blanked out because that's where the train came from. And then here is where it's going, up to Gombak. So I have to go onto this platform to go to Pasar Seni. And the great thing about all these e-cards, of course, I mean, I'm unfamiliar with them in most situations, but I'm very familiar with them in terms of public transit because I used it all the time in Taiwan. And the big advantage is what I just did there, that I don't have to worry about where I'm going, choosing my destination, figuring out how much the fare is, paying the specific fare in advance. You just scan in, and when you scan out at the other end, it automatically knows how far you've traveled and will just automatically deduct the correct amount from your balance. So that it really makes public transit life a lot easier. And it's one of those things, if you don't use one of these systems, you probably don't know just how convenient it is until you do it for the first time. Because I do know, I met someone recently in Mesot who was very anti-technology. I was talking, he wanted to know how to get somewhere, and I was going to give him a Google Maps pin or something like that. And as he explained to me, he doesn't have a smartphone. He's against it. All these kids today frittering away their lives, staring at the screens of their smartphones. He wants nothing to do with it, and he refuses to update his world, to learn about the new technology. And he thinks that's the right thing to do. But if he only knew in certain situations, just how convenient it can be, because everything is just a tool, right? A smartphone, he says, he sees all these people frittering away their lives staring at their phones. Well, they may be, but that's their choice. But you don't have to make that choice. You can, a smartphone is just a tool, and you can use it for whatever you want. You can fritter it away on pointless activities, or you can use it to get practical things done. It's up to you. I was making the analogy in my head of like a hammer. A hammer is a tool, and if you wanted to, you could go buy a hammer, and then you could go down to the beach and just start smashing rocks for no reason, just using that hammer for pointless entertainment, just hitting rocks all day. You could, it's just a tool, or you could take that same tool and build a house with it. All right, it's your choice what you do with the tool. It's just a tool. So same thing with smartphones, internet, and this kind of technology. Wow. Apparently, I don't really deserve this card. Like, I barely have a use for it. Other people would, because it's enhanced. All I need is the basic card. I don't even need the enhanced one. I don't even know what the enhanced features are, So, oh man, what a morning on Planet Doug. Actually, it's after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is pretty much all I've done all day. Pretty funny. Here comes my train, and I'm very happy. It's a 4-coach train, meaning there's less people on board, less crowded than a 2-coach train would be. And a lot of people should be getting off here. Being a good public transportation citizen, I always wait to let people off. Funny thing is, when I set off this morning on this little Planet Doug video journal adventure, I had 3 topics in mind. One was this MRT card, the Rapid Penang KL Touch and Go card. I thought I'd take care of that in 2 minutes, and then the main activity was going to be the Cellcom SIM card thing, trying to figure out how to buy more hotspot quota. I thought that would be the main activity, and then I was going to talk about this. I don't know if you can get a good view of that, but there's a real story to go along with that bag, because this is a cycling bag, a pannier bag. It's too loud to talk now. On this side, we should be even closer to the train station. Yeah, so there it is there, train, Kuala Lumpur station. And just behind it, you can just make out that KTM Berhad. But you don't really get a good view of that one from here. You probably not even know it was there, really. Very cool buildings, both of them. There's the National Mosque, of course. And where I get into the KTM is right here. You know, you walk across this bridge, and then you get into the KTM right there. And then you have to walk all the way over to the train station building to get on the train. And we're here, back in Pasar Seni. Beautiful day. And there goes my train. And as you can see, it's starting to go downhill. Down, down, down. And then right there, it goes into a tunnel underground and disappears. I was filming all this morning, but I totally forgot to hit the record button. So I was just talking to myself out here. But there, it vanished like a magic trick. Went underground. Something I just remembered about my old days with my original Rapid KL touch and go card. I would never take the card out, I don't think. I just put it in my wallet in such a way that it's sitting right here against the outer fabric. And then I can just put this on the machine and scan that without having to like remove the card all the time and risk losing it or dropping it. Let's see if it still works that way. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I think I used to do that. You just have to remember which side the card is on, and it's on this side. So let's see what happens. Nope, didn't work. It said invalid card, so I think it was reading my old card. So let's try the new one. There you go. Ah. And I even got a discount. Yeah, I forgot about that. They want you to use the card because it's cheaper for them. They don't need staff to, you know, give change, and they don't have to maintain as many machines. They want as many people as possible using the card because it saves them money in the long run. And instead of 1 ringgit 30, my trip cost me 1 ringgit 20. So yeah, that makes sense. I just realized that it couldn't have been reading my old card because I don't have my old card anymore. They kept it, tossed it into the bin, I think, because it's garbage now. And maybe that's why having it in my wallet didn't work. I'm suspecting that this new card, being so sophisticated and much more powerful and having all the embedded chips and NFC functionality, it's probably more sensitive and needs to have surface-to-surface contact. It needs to be closer, maybe. So maybe that's why having it in my wallet didn't work. It has to be right on top of the sensor. And the old card was a much more primitive thing. It didn't have as much enhanced ability. So perhaps it worked from there could be more distance, you know, more separation between it and the sensor for it to work. Again, I'm just guessing. Well, I think that is the end of my small adventures for this morning. I think I might head over to Vinijaya for lunch. Who knows, maybe I can pay for my lunch with this card. I'm gonna try that out after I have my lunch. All right, but I think that's the end of the video. If I am successful at Vinijaya, maybe I'll add that as an addendum to this video to talk about my success paying for my lunch with my enhanced touch and go card. We shall see. If not, that's it. And I'll see you in the next video, as always. Vinijaya, lunchtime.